Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Farm Sim 19. This is Little Norton, and it's episode number 11. We head out with our task for the day. Road looks clear for a change. And, of course, this part of the year, it's all fertilizing. And since we have the right equipment for that, we don't have to borrow, which allows us to maximize our profit. And so today we have another big field to do. It is field number 8. One we've been on once before, but that was borrowed equipment when we had that. That was just before we bought the spreader. And so, is this the one here? No, I don't think so. Not quite. I might have to pull over for a second and verify. Oh, that was the entrance to the field. That's right. It's all the way back around. Alright, so as we get started on this one, we actually have had an update to the added realism mod today. If you notice, the GUI is part of what has been altered. It's now at the very bottom of the screen in green there. Assuming that's engine power on the right and slippage on the left. I have no idea what stage of growth they're in, but you asked me to come do the job, so we'll do the job. Oops, if we actually have it selected, there we go. You're still not on. Why are you not turning on? Oh, this game. It's because of the upgrades, changes on the mods. Get reset. There we go. Alright, just the very beginning of the field there. And this is a large field. It's going to be hard to do this, though I can actually kind of see on this field at this time of day. You can more or less see the line. It's not fantastic, but we can certainly see it. Now we're at 47%. Probably not going to be enough to finish the field. But with a payday of 15,000, if we have to dump another 4,000 into the spreader, we're still going to come away with at least $10,000 for the day. I'm going to do one headland so we have plenty of room to turn around and don't miss anything. I think we'll kind of go up and down rows after that. Alright, well, other than the work we're doing right now, the only thing we have on the docket for today is what to do for a purchase. And man, oh man, is that a big question mark on what to do, right? We have the basics now to sell, but of course it's very basic what we have on that. I wonder if it's possible. I've never actually even tried it. I wonder if it's possible to use the forage wagon. Pick up a load in the forage wagon, drive it across the street, and physically unload it in place right? We own the land, so I know we'd be able to dump it at the very least. Even if we couldn't physically dump it inside, we would still be able, at the very least, to dump it right next to the sell point and then pick it up from there. But is picking it up going to stop it from being silaged? Like I said, I've never actually tried, though I would definitely be willing to try, because a single bucket load at a time, back and forth across the street, back and forth across the street, back and forth across the street, would be an effing nightmare. It would take forever to get through that. So that's a less than ideal scenario that we certainly don't want to be placed in. Okay, we're back to where we started. Let's reset for a second row here. Alright, so we've got our headland. Now let's hope it's easier to see behind me where we've already covered. It's not as easy to see ahead of me what we've already covered. I can just about make out the line, but maybe if I zoom in a little, is that going to help? Oh, there we go. It was better for a moment until the ground angle changed. We're climbing a hill slightly at the moment. It makes it really hard to continue to pick out the line. So anyway, for the sell, right, to me that makes a lot of sense. Take the forage wagon, and it's certainly worth a shot, because it would save me a ton of time if I could pick up the silage with the forage wagon and then be able to at least transport it right next to the sell point, if not dump it straight into the sell point. And save that, significant amount of time. So that's part of the short-term plan. But either way, right? Either way it is, we have the basics. We have what is necessary. Does a forage wagon hold silage? You know what? Actually, there is a very quick way to tell if a forage wagon will hold silage. Let's find out. Do 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 do. That's forage harvester header. There we go, loading wagon. We have this guy right here, and look at that, it holds silage. It holds silage. So yes, that will be the plan of action. That should expedite the selling of the silage by a good amount, if not almost completely, making it easier. So there's that. There's still a bunch of grass outside that got pushed out of the bunker when we compressed. Really unfortunate thing that it didn't seem to pick that up. And when the tarp comes off, we'll quickly find out whether it's recounted in as silage or whether it stays as grass. And of course it's got to be deteriorating by now, so if it's not being counted inside, it's certainly not there visually. I think that we haven't run out yet. We've covered pretty good amount of this field. But with those basic needs being met, you know, what is next for us? Do I want to expand my field quantity or ease the process, ease the burden that we currently face? I'll probably want to go with ease the burden. I mean, there's a good amount of money in there right now, though it's far from what it could be, but I don't think we can really take on more until we can do so more efficiently than we currently are. So with that being said, I do think that instead of buying and purchasing additional fields right now, right away, I think it would be in my best interest to ease the process. And at least for this first year, I think we're definitely locked into silage being our thing, and then we'll work whatever jobs we can work to continue to make money to expand and grow into other things. Now, I do have the ability at this point to feed some sheep, so I don't know if that's something I want to get into just yet. Maybe I do. I don't have a water trailer yet, so that would be something. We obviously have a farm. We have access to grass, so we can give them basic feed, but not water yet. So I think I want to be able to get that before I do. And like you said, short-term, long-term, easing this process on silage is going to have a pretty big impact, because it took us a long time to do it the hard way with a single mower and no windrower and an underpowered tractor to pull that and the forage wagon and whatnot. So I do think that money well spent would be to help that process. So a windrower and getting to a triple mower are the, I think, obvious go-tos with our finances right now. We're going to take just a second here to see how far are we along in this process. Am I making my way effectively? We're 66% of the way done. And let's go ahead and see. Oh yeah, we're doing really good on the lines right now. Other than it's not straight, but we're holding. I mean, we've hardly missed a spot. And we're about to kind of close off this upper tallest section, so the rows are going to get a little bit shorter. And it's going to then close off this end too, so that last little bit should ease up. But we're down to just 2%. And actually, we're not going to fill up all the way. So I'm going to go ahead right now. I think this is a good time to head over to the store, take care of it. We're going to fill up. And I could make my purchase for the day. But can I make a purchase for the day? The triple mower and the windrower are the most likely. I think the forage gathering is the greatest need, more so than the mowing. We can mow pretty quick even with a single mower, so getting the double to turn that into a triple, I think, is probably not quite as important as getting a windrower, a decent windrower, so that we can then pick up the forage much quicker, because we're still underpowered and it's going to be a long time before we are able to get a second and or an improved, better tractor than this one that we have right now. We're going to be working with this tractor for a long time yet, and in all likelihood could end up keeping this, as it does have the front loader attachment. It might serve a different role later on where it's just working in that manner. But before we get into something with a lot more power, there's a lot of things that need to happen first. So that means the forage wagon is going to always be an issue. And closing down the rows, I think, is going to matter a little bit more. Why don't we, you know what, we'll pull up over here. We've been here so much, they know us by now. So I think we'll buy 3 pallets today. So that is going to end up taking a pretty big chunk of our profit for the day. It's going to bring us down under 9,000. We'll have 46,000 roughly when we're done with this job. But since we're here, we'll talk to him. I don't know if we'll make a purchase today, but definitely a windrower. And we've got the 30,000 variety. We could just about afford that right now. Double the money for an extra 5 meters. What kind of horsepower do I have right now? 175. We could definitely handle this 14.8. But let me check something else while we're here, because we already know something that's going to happen later on. We have a single mower. That's 70 horsepower. That's 160. We don't have enough power to run. We don't have enough power to run a triple right now. We could probably run a double front and back, but we don't have. And that would, by the way, put us at 11.5. Or no, it would just be the 8.5. I'm a little surprised that it's 160 horsepower. That's 230 right there. We're not even close to that. So maybe we should go with the smaller one. It's 9.3. It's wider than what we'll end up having. And we could do it right now. We have nothing left, but we'll have 15,000 left here soon enough. This will make a huge difference next time. Basically take every 3 rows and cut them down to 1. And if you're smart about it, you can cut it down a bit further every time. You can take a 4th and or 5th row, combine them. Goes around pretty quick. It would save us a lot of time at 11 miles an hour. So with 2 passes, you could make like 5 rows into 1. Leasing also wouldn't be the worst thing. Maybe that's what we need to be looking at. That is 75. So we're looking at about 300 horsepower. You know what? Although we're still talking. We are still talking. 300 horsepower. Okay. Where does that put us on, say, lease cost? I think you can get away without having the full 300 horsepower, but $6R. There's 300 horsepower. It's a $12,000 lease. That's not cheap. That is not cheap. you would be able to run triple mower on the front, windrower on the back, and be super quick and efficient, and then run through with a forage wagon and be done. But 12,000, that's not cheap, and that's per operating hour. So can you get it all done in 1 hour? Don't know about that. It's another 5,000 for an additional hour, so I think we need to have a lot more than 3 fields to want to do that. Alright, well anyway, it's already 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We just spent our lunch break with the salesman. Let's fire it back up, go finish the job. Got our windrower. We'll be picking that up later though. I do find it funny that I'm not a person who's into red, but we've got a whole load of equipment that's red. We have a theme going here. Load this last one up. This will actually get me full, won't it? Oh, almost 96%. Can work with that. Well, we drained the bank account. However, we are full up on fertilizer again. Sorry. I thought being all zoomed out would give me enough of a view. It did not. My bad, sir. My bad. Whoa. We're full. Lift it up. There you go. In addition to the GUI update on the added realism, there has been an update to the physics of it as well, related to how much you dig into the ground. And likewise, that was it. That was the entrance right there, was it not? Is that the entrance? No, it's not. That's the edge of the field. That's a big field. It's a big field. There we go. Alright, we are back. Let me get that lowered once again. And let's find... Should be closer down to this end here. And you can see our turnaround tracks. There's some more turnaround tracks. And nope, that's it right there. That's where we were setting up, but didn't. Okay. And here we go. Back to work. Alright, well anyway, so we have the windrower now. Triple mower might be a little trickier, not just financially speaking, but it looks like horsepower be a real issue for us. Also, even though it would be ideal to run the mower and then have it be followed up by the windrower. That's what I'd like to do, but that's not going to work. By the way, there is a new mod coming out that I've seen. It's not out yet, but I would love to get it when it comes out. It is a baler that has a windrower on the front of it. So it's got arms. It's like a normal baler, but at the very front of the baler, so closer to the tractor itself, it has two arms that extend outward, and it's windrowers that just feed everything in. So it is a baler that does not require a separate here we go. Does not require a separate windrower for it, as the windrower is built right in. So if you had the horsepower to do it, you could have a triple mower on the front, and then you could have that windrowing baler on the back, and you could do an entire grass harvest for silage. And I don't know if that baler has a wrapper on it or not. It might just make bales. But either way, wouldn't that be incredible to just go along and mow and then just stop to dump bales, but otherwise be done with it just like that? Oh, that is my dream right there, folks. That is my dream. Alright, so this field just about done. We've already used 60%. So it's about 4,000. So we should be very close to done now, because off of 15,500 pay, that's just about that right percentage on resources to use. Down to the last couple empty strips here as well, so definitely missed a chunk there. That was a odd little inlet. It's getting more and more pronounced. This is starting to get pretty skinny, and I'm gonna leave that little strip. No reason to waste. Woohoo! Spinning up. Did it again. Full UE, full speed. Alright, I'm gonna hit up the outside row this time. There's not much left in there. I really should be getting a signal that we're done here quite soon. So our next harvest should be both harder and easier. Realistic. How is this not done yet? I mean, there's like one strip left. That's it. That's all that's left. 98%. Okay. Come on now. There we go. Contract finished. $14,579. Collect. And that is another day done here in Little Norton. We're now back to 16,000, so that really helps. I mean, we essentially spent $20,000 today. Got a windrower out of it, so that's good. Let's see. I see where I am to the end of the field. Lift that up so we can head back on the road. We have plenty of fertilizer left for the upcoming days. And all we have to do now is head back to the farm and call it a night. 3:30. It's a decent day. Tomorrow we will be pushing out of spring and into summer. So things are definitely on the verge of changing. I should have a couple cars come in here. I should have growth cycle changing on the grass, so we can get that one more harvest in here pretty soon, maybe tomorrow. So there's a good chance we'll be spraying our own fields again tomorrow, but otherwise it's going to be another work day, and then questions abound on what to do next, right? Taking care of the windrower, so we really have eased that process, even if it's still going to involve mowing all the fields first and then running through a windrower. And like I said, I can probably take 5 down to 1 because you can get 3 wide and you can get two wide on that next one, and then one more time right down would combine that, so we can get 5 to 1 with 3 passes. That's not great, but that's still way faster than the forage wagon's going to do with all that. Or we just do it normally. Maybe I'll try one field normal where it's every 3 rows is 1 pass, 3 rows 1 pass, 3 rows 1 pass. That would be the quickest way. But is it going to help us enough on the forage wagon? Well, we'll find out. But we're done to the day. We'll go to sleep, and I've got me a new mat, a sleep trigger. So we'll call it a night, and I'll see you in the morning. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.